You know the strangers we brought here yesterday?
Let me guess. You want to help them.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing the characters Negan and Judith Grimes in The Walking Dead Season 9. With that being said, major warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to episode 905, and let's jump right into this. So after Rick Grimes' final episode, Season 9 Episode 5, there was a 6-year time skip at the end of the episode leading into episode 906 as we get the true introduction to a new beginning story arc. To my surprise, after just one scene, Judith already has the potential to become what appears to be the perfect legacy character, hopefully saving some of our complaints about killing off Carl. I was always skeptical about the second time skip rumors, especially since I never knew that it would result in Judith becoming a knockoff Carl. She is low-key the replacement Carl that we needed, and I have high hopes for her because apparently the actor was in a recent Star Wars movie or something, so I guess she has history. Even actors on set for The Walking Dead have been giving Andrew Lincoln a hard time, saying that it's great that he's off the show now because she's an even better actor than he is, jokingly, but you know, that's still a good sign. I've also previously heard people discussing Judith or Henry taking Carl's position in A New Beginning ever since the Season 8 Carl death rumors, and I was unsure about it, but I feel like this might actually work. I don't really like Henry's character, so I'm less excited for anything he does, but hopefully they only use him when they need a more mature teenager and not 10-year-old Judith. Carl was 15 after the 4-year time skip in the comics, but with how fast it feels like kids grow up on this show, I'm sure Judith will fit more of the post-time skip Carl situations in future seasons, and I'm glad that they chose someone to be younger than Carl was instead of just being the exact age of him, because we don't want them to grow up too fast again, just like Carl did originally. So discussing Negan and Judith is probably a topic that I've been most excited about ever since episode 905 finished airing, and I saw the trailers for 906 as we can see what looks like Judith talking to Negan, and this has huge implications. If you guys have seen any of my Carl Grimes videos, you'll know that I'm extremely disappointed and distraught over the fact that the Carl and Negan arc has been built up for nothing, and we won't get to see any of A New Beginning comic book Carl's stories truly come to fruition, even if other characters take a remixed version of his place.
You talked about wanting to see your relationship with Carl develop.
Yeah, that worked out.
My question is, how do you feel about how the relationship developed and how it ended?
Abruptly.
That being said, with the new potential that Judith has, I'm really interested in how this will all play out. It seems like Negan is talking to Judith through the bars in the jail window. At first I was unsure of this, if it was actually happening or if they were just doing some trailer editing trickery, but there are now articles confirming that this is true, and there's more promo images supporting this case. The article will be linked in the description, but they straight up state that Judith is getting the Carl Grimes treatment from Kirkman's series. And as if that wasn't straightforward enough, to paraphrase the next paragraph, they say how they're excited to see a bunch of new things from Judith, one of which being how Judith will take over the Negan-Carl story. They say that we'll see moments between Judith and Negan that we didn't get to see play out with Carl and Negan in the same way. So just like the actor JDM said in the San Diego Comic-Con panel this summer, it's a bummer that the Negan and Carl thing didn't work out like we were all excited for, but they found a workaround which will still hopefully do that arc justice. He couldn't exactly reveal anything about Judith back then in the summer, but now that all the cards are out on the table, it does seem promising.
Look, I hope that there is something. I think that relationship brought out something in both characters that we don't see in any other way, and I hope that we find a way for those kind of feelings to those character traits that Carl brought out Negan. I hope they're brought out some other way. Does that make sense?
So after episode 906 airs, I'll be doing a full breakdown of everything that happens between Carl and Negan in the comics, really jumping into the comic book spoiler predictions, along with how it might be remixed for Judith. Keep a lookout for that. I just try to keep the comic book stuff kind of separate in case there's any show-only people that don't want to be spoiled necessarily, but Judith never knew Negan like Carl did during the war, so it's not not like they have an existing connection or anything, so how will that even begin? Will they show that Judith has already been talking to Negan throughout the time skip, that she's had existing conversations with him, or will we actually see their first ever conversation together? Will Negan talk to Judith about Rick? How much will Negan influence Judith? In the comics, Carl was able to talk to Negan and get different advice about things that he couldn't talk to Rick about, almost like a second father or an uncle, just kind of a different perspective. So will Judith talk to Negan about things that she won't be able to talk to Michonne or Aaron about, or Daryl or anyone else? Will Negan manipulate Judith and corrupt her, or will he honestly help her out whenever he can, just like how someone like Aaron or Daryl would? I could see him manipulating her to his gain, but then again, I could see Negan manipulating anyone like that, even after he does start redeeming himself.
I mean, look, there was a whole storyline that Kirkman wrote that I was excited to play, and it didn't pan out that way. So it ended a little bit abruptly, as things do on this show.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we don't know what's going to happen. It's what keeps us on our toes.
Right.
Will Negan tell her that he knew her as a baby? Remember that Negan made spaghetti with Carl during All Out War, and that he actually sat on the porch holding her with Carl sitting uncomfortably by her side. And I'm still saddened that the Carl and Negan connection never fully came to fruition on the show like in the comics, considering how perfectly it was set up, but at least we'll have this. Hopefully they don't screw this up. I thought that whoever they would have replace Carl's story arcs would be meh, but I'm actually really excited at this Negan Judith potential. Also, should I create a video discussing what moments grown-up Henry might get remixed from Carl, such as a relationship with Lydia if they don't use Enid? Let me know what you guys think about all of this down below, but that's pretty much it for the video, guys, and let me know what video topics you guys want me to discuss first, because there's just so much to talk about right now that I'm kind of flustered on what to focus on first. And I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, as it really helps me out more than you can imagine. Feel free to subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future, and if you'd like to take the extra step in helping support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon as well. Follow me on Twitter too, link to both of those in the description. I'm fairly active on Twitter even when I'm not posting videos. I'm always retweeting everything I can involving the Walking Dead universe, such as all these articles and confirmations and whatnot. But anyways guys, as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!